I love the original Matrix. I even enjoyed the two sequels to a certain degree. The new one, however, is horrible. Right now, we're stuck in this weird loop where everything that even has a little bit of heat, as they say, is getting remade, rebooted, or whatever. The Matrix is just the latest to go there. From what I gather, Warner Brothers wanted to make a new Matrix movie, and they were going to go ahead and do it with or without the Wachowskis, which even they joke about in the movie. Recognizing that within the movie doesn't make it any better. It just points out again that it didn't need to be. The previous films were directed by the sibling duo, the Wachowskis, but with this one, Lily decided not to return, but Lana helmed the whole thing solo. The movie is absolute trash. The writing is some of the most forced nostalgia-baited stuff I've seen in some time. It's nothing but constant reminders of a much better film. They even go so far as to reuse footage from the first movie over and over again to drive various points home. There's an old saying, never show a poster of a better movie within your movie. Well, this is never show footage of a better movie within your movie. All it did was remind me that I'd rather be watching the original. Make that I'd rather be watching the original than their attempts to redo the original. Oh look, he's learning kung fu. Oh look, he's stopping the bullets. Oh look, he's doing all that stuff you know, but now, for some reason, it looks cheap. Despite the fact that the budget for Resurrections cost more than double what the original cost. How is this a $200 million movie? With something like The Dark Knight, that was a movie where you see all the money up on the screen. Resurrections isn't even close. I think somebody walked off with a chunk of that budget. There was none of the energy or excitement from the originals here. The story went nowhere and wasn't particularly interesting. Oh, Neo is now stuck in the real world again, and The Matrix is this video game series that he's forced to make even though he doesn't want to. Then he's talking to his therapist, played by Neil Patrick Harris, who throws out buzzword after buzzword. Oh, that reminds me. Trinity's husband is named Chad. Now, I know that's the guy's real name. It's Chad Stahelski, who's Keanu's friends, the director of John Wick, as well as his stunt double for the original movies. However, them keeping the name Chad is just stupid. I'm surprised they didn't throw in a virgin something character. The action, when we did get it, was slow and sloppy. I know Keanu is older now, but we've all seen the John Wick movies and know what he's still capable of. So his age is no excuse. Also, I'm not blaming him at all. I'm blaming terrible choreography and bad editing. I guess Lily was the one who handled all the action in the originals. Keanu did what he could, but he could only do so much. Another thing is, aside from Carrie-Anne Moss, none of the other players returned. So we got weak alternate versions of Lawrence Fishburne and Hugo Weaving. The actors who they got to fill in for them were, to be nice, not good. Honestly, they would have been better off inventing another reason as for making new characters altogether. Why not? It's supposed to be 60 years later, and yet Neo and Trinity are only about 20 years older. As the writers, they could have come up with anything, but instead decided to go back to the nostalgia well, even though it was filled with knockoffs. It's not easy to replace an iconic character with a new actor, and here they had two characters they replaced, and they both failed. Wait a minute, I just remembered they had Niobe from the sequels in this, so I guess they had one other character, although she was only in it for like 10 minutes. I could not wait for this to be over. At 2.5 hours long, it could have easily been cut by an hour. It dragged and dragged with endless scenes of nothing happening. I'm not against the movie that has an abundance of story. I'm against the movie that has an abundance of redundant story. I also saw the part where they make Trinity the other one a mile away. So the big shocking moment towards the end of the film where Neo can't fly but Trinity can, made me groan. The effects were okay. The new bullet time thing wasn't quite what I'm sure they were hoping for. Some of the shots were obviously CG and others were really obvious. This was a series that was known for its groundbreaking effects. I mean, they won Oscars for it. Here, nothing stood out. There were no amazing moments, nothing that people will be watching over and over. Think the lobby in The Matrix or the car chase in Reloaded. We got nothing even close to that here. A few scenes that we did get were very run-of-the-mill. There was one big brawl about halfway through that looked like it was from some made-for-TV movie from the 90s with everyone dressed up like extras from Hackers. I was expecting more visually, especially since they unveiled that Matrix Awakens tech demo, which was really impressive. It felt like no care went into the movie. I've heard rumors that Lana did this because she had to. Wow, must be great to get a multi-million-dollar payday and a $190 million budget just to waste everyone's time. I feel bad for all the artists who slaved over their computers trying to make this look good, all while knowing it will be a completely thankless job. I have a feeling much of the effects were rushed so they could get this out before the end of the year. Again, not the fault of the artists. This was a movie that failed before it even started. The Matrix series ended almost 2 decades ago, and there was no reason to try to resurrect it now other than that the studio is out of ideas and figured they could cash in on something that was once hugely popular. I'm thinking this also stems from the Wachowskis not having a successful movie since, I don't know, 2003's The Matrix Revolutions? I was kind of hoping to be proven wrong that this movie was entertaining, but it couldn't even do that. It tried to be clever while thumbing its nose at itself, but it just came off like watching the antics of a spoiled child. If you love The Matrix, the best thing you could do is forget this exists. If you're curious, I'm telling you to not waste your time. It's 2.5 hours you will not enjoy, and you will not get back. Just go rewatch the original. It's better, and it's even 15 minutes shorter. I've only seen a handful of movies from 2021, but this is the worst one I've seen so far. I really didn't like this at all, and I'm annoyed I wasted time watching it.